This is the first of many videos I shall be filming today, so let's get to it. Hey guys, it's V, and today we are going to be testing out a brand new sponge. You guys know these are my favorite videos. I love makeup sponges. It's probably one of my favorite parts of doing my makeup is using a sponge to apply my foundation and concealer. So today we are going to be testing out the NYX Professional Makeup Complete Control Blending Sponge. I was just at Ulta on New Year's Eve and I saw this and it was $9.99 at Ulta and it's brand new. I've tried out the original NYX blending sponge, which was great at first, and then it kind of didn't really like last a very long time. I can link my video of testing it up in the eye for you guys if you'd like, because I did originally really like that sponge. It's a little bit cheaper. This one is different. It's different. So you guys can see, if you look just at the packaging there, you can see it's got some very hard edges. And you can also see the glare from my kitchen, not my kitchen, my, what? I am nowhere near the kitchen right now. The glare from my window. So you know what? We're just going to get into opening this and I will show it to you guys because you obviously can't see it from inside the package. So I'm going to open it up and we are going to see how it works. I don't have my NYX blending sponge anymore because it just like deteriorated really quickly and it was hard to like clean and stuff, and so I ended up throwing it out after using it for a couple of months or so. So let's see if this one is any better. I hope that it will be. It has 1 4-star review on Ulta right now, so let's see on this sponge. And something else I noticed, which Sam pointed out would actually be really funny and actually like horrible but funny if it happened, is that you can see it has NYX Professional Makeup embedded into the sponge, and Sam was like, what if when you're using that it puts like NYX like all over your face? And I'm like, that would be horrible but hilarious. So we are going to test it out and see if it does. But you can see the shape of it is very unique. It reminds me a lot of the Sephora Pro blending sponge. That one is super dirty right now, so I'm not going to show it to you guys, but I am going to be comparing it today to the Beauty Blender Pro, the black Beauty Blender sponge, so we can see if one that is half the price can do the same job, which a lot of times they can. You guys, sponges are something that I do not feel the need to spend $20 on. The only reason I have original Beauty Blenders is because I bought them in a set with a coupon. So yeah, so let's go ahead and read on the packaging here what it says about this sponge. It says, this ultra versatile sponge features 2 beveled sides for smooth and even makeup application, plus a precision tip that fits into those hard to reach spots and makes micro contouring a breeze. Well, I don't contour with creams or anything. Also, my face is a little red. I had to exfoliate this morning because I had a lot of dry patches on my skin. My nose psoriasis is kind of acting up right now, so that's why my face is like ultra red at the moment. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with me or anything. It's just my face is pretty red from that, but the foundation will cover it up hopefully with this sponge. So let's also see what Ulta has to say. I'm pretty sure it would be, I don't know, it's actually a different description, so let's see. It says, take your makeup into your own hands with the NYX Professional Makeup Complete Control Blending Sponge. JK, it actually says the same thing right after that, so it just talks about how it has, you know, all the beveled sides and stuff that I literally just read a second ago. So first we are going to activate the Pikachu Clippy because you guys already know that these bangs love to get in my face, and yes, I do have some color on my scalp because the color that I used dyed my scalp a little bit because I have new hair. I really like it, you guys. I did it myself, but we're not going to talk about it right now. It's too much to talk about. But I'm just going to go ahead and put primer on my face. This is the Cover FX Illuminating Primer, which is fine. I'm really just trying to get through it right now because I spent a lot of money on it, honestly. It's not my favorite primer. I liked it a lot more when I got the little sample size in my Sephora Play, but I don't like it as much now that I have the full size for some reason. So I'm just gonna put this on. So as far as how to use the sponge, we will read on Ulta's website. It says, blend and buff your makeup with the beveled sides to achieve an airbrushed finish. Use the precision tip to touch up around the eyes and nose or to softly contour your complexion. So it doesn't say to wet it. I'm going to. I always wet my sponges, and I'm really interested to see if when it's wet, if this little logo is going to go go away because I hope that it does not leave NYX professional makeup marks all over my face. So I'm gonna hold it right here for you guys so you can see what it looks like dry, and then I'm going to go wet this bad boy and we can see what happens. Okay, you guys, so the sponge wet really easily and it did grow in size, not exponentially, but it definitely did grow a little bit, you can see, and it is much squishier, so that is good, but you can still see that NYX logo in there. Can you guys see that? Yep, still there, so that is going to be interesting. I also, since I was already in the bathroom, went ahead and grabbed my Sephora Pro Sponge that I did a video on that I can link in the eye for you guys, but they have a very, very similar shape. Can you guys see that? Like, they both have flat edges on each side and they both have a slanted tip up at the top. This one is just a little bit smaller. Obviously this one is not wet, but this one didn't grow a ton in size when I wet it anyway. But they do feel very, very similar, and this one just has a little bit more of a slant to a point than the Sephora Pro one does. And I think the Sephora Pro one was a little bit more expensive. I want to say it was like $14 or so. So this one was $9.99. So we're gonna see how this compares to the original Beauty Blender, which this is already dampened, so we're good to go in that front. But it does feel very nice and squishy. I mean, I'll give it that. It feels like it's gonna be good. I have high hopes. We will see how it works on my face. So I'm just gonna zoom you guys in and we can get on in with it. Is that what I was gonna say? Okay, so you guys know the drill. I'm gonna be using my Revlon Color Stay for normal to dry in Ivory, and I'm running out, so hopefully I have enough. Okay, I've got enough to do this video. So we're just gonna take this on my hand. So I'm first gonna go in with some foundation on the side that I will be using the NYX sponge. All right, so that should be enough foundation for that side of my face, hopefully. So I'm just going to use the butt of the sponge to blend the majority of this out. So this is what I usually do when I blend out foundation with my fingers. Like when I first put it on, I wipe a little bit on the butt and then I go ahead and I apply. So let's see how this works. Let me grab my mirror. Looking pretty good so far. Looking very good so far. Feels nice on my face. It doesn't feel hard like other sponges I've tested in the past. 7-Eleven sponge. That thing was a nightmare. Also, if you're new to my channel, I do have a couple of eyelash extensions left on the corners of my eyes. So yeah, no, those aren't my natural lashes. I wish I was blessed with beautiful lashes like that. But that blended out perfectly, honestly. Everything looks pretty normal. I think I need a little bit more coverage, but other than that, that's not any fault of the foundation. Just not foundation, the sponge. Just needed to add a little bit more. Oh my god, you can really see all the hair color. Jeez, I'm a mess. I really like this so far. It's blending out really, really quick and easy. And it's got a nice little butt that gets the job done. I think that looks good. I think this one worked well. It's not super rough. It feels nice and squishy. I like the way that it felt on the skin, but you know what I didn't test is if I use this little NYX makeup part, if it's going to leave an imprint. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit more foundation on my cheek and we're gonna see if it does, because I am interested to know. I don't see it leaving one. Okay. I guess we're alright then. Cool. That's good. So let's go ahead and do the Beauty Blender side of my face now, which has a couple more blemishes and redness that need concealing. But we'll get it done. We will get it done. Using the Beauty Blender side. Okay, so looking at it, I would say I see no difference in how my foundation blended out, which is great. That's great news. That's what we want. We don't want there to be anything noticeably different. There's a hair on the nose and it is on Oh my god, okay. But yeah, looks really good. So I'm gonna do my brows really quickly and then we will go in and do concealer. Alright, brows are done, so let's move on to concealer. I'm going to be using the BH Studio Pro Total Coverage Concealer in the shade number 100 today. So let's go ahead and put some of this on and see how it blends out with the NYX Complete Control Blending Sponge. Put a little bit. I hate the applicator on this, but this is an amazing concealer. It was in my 2017 favorites. Alright my friends, let's see how this blends out. It did say it had a nice precision tip to get into these areas here. I think this is probably our best bet for this. Let's see how it goes. We really gotta get it up in the under eye. I don't know how much I like this for the under eye. I mean, it's getting under there, but it's kind of a little hard. Ooh, it's leaving some lines. Do you guys see that? Do you guys see those lines? Oh no. We do not want lines. Maybe it's just the angle I was holding at. Maybe I need to try the butt. Try the butt for this. You did so well with the foundation, man. I feel like it's not giving me good enough coverage on this side. Like, I'm still seeing a lot of redness. Let me try to put a little bit more concealer. I know I have a lot of redness right now, so it could just be that my skin is overpowered by the redness, but let's see if I can fix it a little bit with this. Okay. Okay, I mean, that kind of helped it a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and go on my nose with the concealer. Just a very light layer. If you press too hard with this though, you do get lines, which is not a pro for me. Let's go ahead and get in the very inner corner of the nose. It said it was good for hard to reach areas. It specifically said that, but I'm finding it a little troubling. I'm not gonna blame my skin texture on the sponge because my skin texture is just really not good right now, just because it's really dry. Like I said, my psoriasis is acting up. So I don't know if I like this for concealer. I feel like it just made my concealer look like super dry and crepey. Let's go ahead and use the Beauty Blender on the other side and see if it does the same thing. Maybe it's just my skin. Let's pray that it's just my skin. Oh, that was a lot. Okay, we're gonna spread that out. Let's pray that it's just my skin right now that's having issues. A little bit on that pimple. I think there's a little something right here. Let's see how it goes on this side. Really put a lot of concealer over here. That was a mistake, but that's just because of the applicator on that one. Yeah, you know what? It's actually looking a lot better on the Beauty Blender side, and it's more full coverage, I feel like. I did use a little bit more concealer, but the Beauty Blender soaks up a ton of it, so I don't really think that that has anything to do with it. But I do feel like on this side of my face, the concealer looks drier and it did not blend as well as it did on this side of my face. I'm sure you guys can probably tell it looks much brighter because it's better coverage on this side. So I don't know if I like that NYX sponge for concealer. Let's go ahead and see how it does with pressing in setting powder. I've got my RCMA No Color Powder here. I'm trying to think. Maybe this would be the best, or would this be best for this little side? I feel like the little side would be best. Let's try that. Pressing that in. All right, and let's go in with the Beauty Blender. The thing is, the harsh edges on the NYX sponge is creating a lot of lines on this part of my face. The butt part worked great because it didn't have any lines on it. But this one is just like the top part of the sponge, I feel like is too harsh. I feel like it probably would be great for contouring, but for what I need it for, I don't think that that is really great because I don't want lines of powder or lines of concealer or lines of anything, honestly, on my under eye area. So I'm just gonna let this sit for a second and then I will be back with my final thoughts on this. Okay, so I went ahead and dusted off my powder and I feel like at this point it kind of looks very similar on both sides, but I feel like I had to work way harder on the NYX sponge side with concealer for it to work, so I personally would not use that for my concealer, or maybe I would just try to use like just the butt end, but that's like a huge sponge like all up in your under eye area, so I don't know, I probably would like bring in my beauty blusher or something like that. So I would use this for foundation, and then I would have to bring in the beauty blusher for the under eye area because the like crazy intenseness of the points of this did not work in its favor. So overall, I would say I would recommend this depending on what you want to use it for, because I am willing to bet this is great for cream contouring because it's got such a precise line. I feel like it would probably blend out cream contour great because you can apply it with this little point on here and then you can blend it out with the butt end of the sponge to kind of help you out. So I think that if you want this for foundation and cream contouring, it would be great. But if you want it for just kind of like an overall everything greatness product, which is usually what I like my sponges to be for, I like for them to do everything for me and not have to like bring in another sponge to finish the job, if you know what I'm saying. So I like it, but I would probably give it like 3 out of 5 stars if that helps you out in any way. I feel like it's a good sponge, it's a good price, but I have other sponges that I like better. The Eco Tools sponge is my favorite sponge and it's $6, so I would buy that over this, but it's not a bad sponge depending on what you want it for. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to show some love to the like button down there, and if you subscribe, you can be a member of my Muse family, and I love you guys so much. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye guys!